The Oklahoma City Thunder weren't supposed to be this good. Not yet. Not this soon. But after becoming the first team to hit 60 wins this season, locking up the top seed in the West, and dominating both ends of the floor, there's no denying it. They've arrived. They've got a legit MVP candidate, a deep roster built for both the present and the future, and a defense that's suffocating teams. And the craziest part? They're nowhere near their final form. The NBA has a serious Thunder problem, and it might already be too late to stop it. For the third straight year, Oklahoma City has shattered expectations. First, a play-in cameo in 2023. Then, a sprint to the top of the West in 2024. Now, they've taken another leap. With just a handful of games left, the Thunder have already hit 60 wins, the best regular season in franchise history. And at the center of it all, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, delivering one of the most ridiculous individual seasons the league has ever seen. Last year, he torched defenses for 30.1 points, 6.2 assists, 5.5 boards, and 2 steals a night, all while dragging OKC to the #1 seed and their first playoff series win since 2016. That was impressive. This year, he has taken it up another level. A career-high 32.8 points per game, plus 6.3 dimes, 5.1 rebounds, and elite efficiency, 52.1% from the field, 37.2% from deep. His defensive presence is just as impactful. Second in total steals, fourth in total blocks among guards, and top 20 in deflections. The two-way dominance is undeniable. His biggest impact is on the scoreboard. Shai isn't just leading the league in scoring. He is putting up numbers that place him in the same breath as legends. A 65-game streak of 20-plus points, a club so exclusive that only 3 other players have ever reached it: Wilt, Oscar, and Jordan. But 4 more 20-plus point games will surpass MJ's 69-game streak from 1991. But that is just one of his many scoring prowess. Shai has 45 games with at least 30. 3 straight seasons hitting that mark. 12 games of 40-plus. 4 50 bombs. No player this season has more 50-point games, 40-point games, 30-point games, and 20-point games. Efficiency, volume, and consistency at an all-time high. But it's not surprising. SGA is, if not the best, one of the most complete scorers in the league. The variety in his scoring arsenal makes him nearly impossible to guard. He's distributing his points almost evenly across the floor. 31% from mid-range, 25% at the rim, 24% from free throws, and 20% from 3. A true 3-level scorer with a throwback style that defenders struggle to contain. His biggest weapon is his drive. For the 5th straight season, SGA leads the NBA in drives per game. It's not just about volume, he's also one of the most efficient. When he drives and either shoots, turns it over, or kicks it to a shooter, the Thunder average 1.20 points per possession, the second best mark among 72 players with at least 400 drives, trailing only Kevin Durant. No player in the league generates more direct points off drives than Shai. His finishing ability is just as elite. With incredible balance, fearlessness in traffic, and fingertip control, SGA finds ways to score even through heavy contact. Right hand, left hand, soft touch, it doesn't matter. He absorbs the hit, stays on balance, and still gets the N1. And then there's the free throws. Some critics say SGA relies too much on them, but that narrative overlooks why he gets to the line so often. His relentless drives. He attacks the paint as much as anyone in the league, putting defenders in impossible situations. Either give up an easy bucket or foul him and hope for the best. That's why he's second in the league in free throw attempts, not just because of baiting or friendly whistles, but because few players apply pressure on defenses like he does, and he makes every trip count, knocking them down at a 90.3% clip. But also, calling SGA just a free throw merchant is flat out dishonest. He's a mid-range killer, one of the best in the league. In an era where defenses prioritize rim protection and three-point contests, the mid-range is a dead zone, and Shai feasts on it. He developed that shot early in his career, and now it's paying off in a big way. But he's not just a 2-level scorer. While he's not a volume shooter from deep, you won't see him pulling up from 35 feet like Curry or Dame, but he's still a legitimate threat. He's hitting 37% from 3 this season, 35.3% for his career. Defenses can't sleep off, because if he gets an open look, he'll take it. Put it all together, and you get a player who excels at the 2 most crucial aspects of scoring: space creation and shot making. He leads leads the league in isolation possessions and ranks in the 88th percentile in ISO scoring at 1.10 points per play. And that skill set, it only gets more valuable in the playoffs. Over the past decade, isolation frequency has jumped by a third in the postseason. When defenses tighten up and possessions slow down, every contender needs a guy who can get a bucket. No screens, no play calls, just pure shot creation. That's Shai. He's OKC's closer, but it's not just the offense. SGA is also a problem on the other end of the floor. The Thunder have the best defense in the NBA, and he's a big reason why. He'll finish among the league's top 5 in steals and rank as one of the best shot-blocking guards this season. He's a strong on-ball defender, taking on elite matchups, but his off-ball impact is even bigger. With Lu Dort locking down primary assignments, SGA stalks the passing lanes, racks up deflections, and ranks second in total steals this season. And all of this adds up to one thing: winning. The Thunder are on pace for 68 wins, and SGA is leading the league in scoring while anchoring an elite defense. He's not just an MVP candidate, he's the MVP favorite. And if you're not watching Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, you're missing out on one of the most complete offensive weapons in the game. That said, the Thunder have played their way into this rarefied air because of 3 main factors: star power, depth, and defense. Let's start with defense. The Thunder have built their identity on that end, relying on a collective effort where everyone is defensively capable. Up and down the roster, it's hard to find a weak link. They have Cason Wallace, Alex Caruso, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander locking down guards, Lu Dort and Jalen Williams handling wings, Isaiah Hartenstein and Chet Holmgren protecting the paint. With so many defensive weapons, head coach Mark Daigneault can cycle through different matchups, always keeping fresh legs on the floor. It all starts with their perimeter defense. Caruso and Dort have turned the art of lockdown defense into a science. Dort's relentless energy and physicality make life miserable for even the best scorers, while Caruso, a seamless addition, disrupts offenses with surgical precision, hounding ball handlers and forcing turnovers. But elite perimeter defense alone doesn't make you the best defensive team in the league. The Thunder's interior presence, led by Hartenstein and Holmgren, has been just as dominant. That combination has made Oklahoma City the best defensive team in years. Literally, their 107.1 defensive rating is one of the best of the last 5 seasons. In an era where slowing down offenses is harder than ever, the Thunder have cracked the code. With length and physicality on the perimeter and size in the paint, they've built the best defense in the league, allowing just 107.1 points per 100 possessions. To put that into perspective, the worst offense this season belongs to the Washington Wizards, who average 104.4 points per 100 possessions. Oklahoma City is essentially turning every opponent into the Wizards, and the dominance doesn't stop there. The Thunder haven't allowed a single 40-point scorer all season and have given up just 8 30-point games. Every other team has allowed at least 16. And the league average is 26. And this is not surprising considering the Thunder shut down opponents in countless ways, but the most eye-opening might be how they dismantle the pick and roll. In today's NBA, that play is every team's bread and butter, but OKC turns it into stale leftovers. They allow just 0.91 points per pick and roll, the best mark for any team in 5 years. And that's just the start. The Thunder force the toughest shot diet in the league, holding opponents to a league-low 43.5% from the field and just 34.1% from beyond the arc. They also give up the fewest points per 100 possessions and the least points in the paint per game. It's not just that opponents are missing shots. OKC is forcing them into bad ones, contesting everything and closing out possessions with disciplined rebounding. They also win the possession battle at a ridiculous rate. They lead the league in steals, averaging 10.4 per game, the most by any team this century. They're first in deflections, loose ball recoveries, and charges drawn. But here's where it gets ridiculous. They're not just elite at forcing turnovers, they almost never give the ball away themselves. OKC commits the fewest turnovers in the league, creating an absurd gap between giveaways and takeaways. How absurd! They force 5.7 more turnovers per game than they commit, a number that would completely shatter the all-time record of 5.1 set by the 1988 Nuggets. And the result? They don't just win the turnover battle, they obliterate it. Oklahoma City leads the NBA in points off turnovers with 22.1 per game, while allowing the fewest points of their own with 13. That's a plus 9.1 margin, which is basically unheard of. No other team is even close. But the real secret behind Oklahoma City's defense isn't just effort. It's versatility. Every single player can switch, defend multiple positions, and keep the system airtight. They don't just react to offenses, they predict them. Their rotations are flawless. Their communication is next level. Now, what makes this even crazier? They've done all this despite missing Chet Holmgren, one of their best defenders, for most of the season due to a broken pelvis and a sprained ankle. So, this isn't just a good defensive team. This is one of the most dominant defenses the NBA has seen in years. But while the defense has been the Thunder's calling card this season, their offense has quietly become just as dominant. After a slow start, OKC has flipped the switch since the new year, boasting the league's best offensive rating at 124.6 since January and maintaining that pace post-All-Star break. For the season, their 120th.1 offensive rating ranks third in the NBA, trailing only the Cavaliers and Celtics. At the center of it all is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, the league's leading scorer in the 2024-25 campaign. But OKC's offensive explosion isn't just about SGA. It's about the entire supporting cast stepping up. Starting with Jalen Williams, his leap this season has been just as crucial. Now a first-time All-Star, he's developed into a true number 2 option, capable of scoring in isolation and knocking down shots off the catch. His ability to play both on and off the ball gives OKC an unstoppable offensive flow. The addition of Isaiah Hartenstein has provided another boost. His screening, passing, and offensive rebounding create second-chance opportunities while also improving the team's floor spacing. With Chet Holmgren back in the lineup, the Thunder's offense reaches another level. Holmgren isn't just a 3-level scorer, his gravity pulls defenders away, opening up lanes for SGA and Williams. His pick-and-pop ability seamlessly fits into OKC's drive and cut system, creating endless mismatches. Alex Caruso has also strengthened the team's spacing and connectivity. Lou Dort remains a valuable floor spacer, and the bench unit injects constant energy. Role players have also stepped up. Isaiah Joe has been lights out from deep since January, while Aaron Wiggins has emerged as a scoring weapon since February. OKC's success isn't built on a couple of stars shouldering the load. Their offense is a well-oiled machine where every player plays a role, keeping defenses off balance. They move the ball with purpose, space the floor to perfection, and generate scoring opportunities through teamwork rather than isolation. Instead of relying on mismatches, they create them, forcing opponents into impossible decisions. This isn't a young team figuring things out. It's a polished unit that picks defenses apart with precision. And the numbers back it up. They rank 3rd in offensive rating, 4th in points per game, 5th in field goal percentage, and 6th in three-point percentage. OKC has built an efficient, dynamic, and versatile offensive system, one that perfectly complements their elite defense. That balance is what makes them a true contender. Speaking of which, we got to talk about one area OKC improved during the offseason that's already making a difference: interior defense. Last season, the Thunder got pushed around in the paint. Holmgren had the skill, but his rookie frame wasn't enough to handle veteran bigs, which led to easy buckets and second-chance points for bigger teams. In the playoffs, OKC actually outscored opponents by 11.2 points per 100 possessions when Holmgren was on the floor, per cleaning the glass. But when he sat, they got outscored by 7.1 per 100, the biggest on-off gap on the roster and one of the largest in the entire postseason. That was a problem, so they went out and got Isaiah Hartenstein. Now, with Holmgren and Hartenstein together, OKC finally has a front court that can hold its own. Holmgren is still one of the best rim protectors in the league, but he's also a 7-footer who can stretch the floor, handle the ball, and create mismatches against most power forwards. Hartenstein, on the other hand, brings that old-school big man presence, something OKC hasn't had since Steven Adams. He's a rebounding machine, a bruising screener, and an underrated playmaker with a great feel around the rim. Plus, while Holmgren gets most of the attention defensively, Hartenstein is no slouch as a rim protector either. Now Holmgren's injury delayed the much-anticipated two-big lineup for months, but now that they're both healthy, the early signs are promising. Their chemistry is already showing as Holmgren and Hartenstein complement each other in many ways. 1. Holmgren's ability to stretch the floor gives Hartenstein more room to operate inside, while Hartenstein's physicality takes the pressure off Holmgren to battle with bigger centers all game long. Hartenstein also thrives as a screener, creating pockets of space for Holmgren to step into his silky jumper, or attack off the dribble. Meanwhile, Holmgren's shooting gravity forces defenders to step out, which gives Hartenstein more opportunities to dive to the rim or grab offensive rebounds. Defensively, Holmgren's length allows him to contest shots without overcommitting, while Hartenstein's strength lets him absorb contact in the paint. That means Holmgren can roam as a weak-side shot blocker without worrying about leaving the interior completely exposed. Plus, Hartenstein also solves another issue that hurt OKC last season: their struggles on the boards. With a rotation full of perimeter players and the tall but slender Holmgren, the Thunder were often overmatched against more physical teams inside. But Hartenstein, a rugged 7-footer and elite rebounder, changes that dynamic. While the two-big lineup won't be OKC's go-to look every night, it gives them a crucial advantage against certain matchups, like the oversized Mavericks or a potential finals battle with Cleveland. Even when Holmgren and Hartenstein aren't on the floor together, the Thunder now have the luxury of always having a true center anchoring the paint. But the scariest thing about this team isn't just its size or starting five, it's the depth. OKC's roster is loaded, and it's not just about the stars. SGA is putting together an MVP-level season, Jalen Williams has taken the leap to all-star status, and Holmgren likely would have joined them if not for injury. But what really sets this team apart is how deep and battle-tested they are. Injuries have forced almost everyone on the roster into key roles at some point, and that real game experience is going to be huge come playoff time. For context, 14 different players have started at least one game for the Thunder. 8 of them have hit double-digit starts, and 7 have made at least 20. On top of that, 11 Thunder players rank at least league average in estimated plus-minus, the most of any team. That depth has also allowed coach Mark Daigneault to manage minutes wisely. Only 2 Thunder players, SGA and Jalen Williams, average more than 29 minutes per game. That means OKC will enter the playoffs with fresher legs than most contenders. They have the depth, versatility, and experience to adapt to any challenge. And if this regular season has shown anything, it's that the Thunder are ready for the moment. Speaking of being ready for the moment, the Thunder aren't just ahead of schedule, they're ahead of their rebuild entirely. This wasn't supposed to happen this fast. A team this young is supposed to go through a lot of growing pains, learn through losses, and build toward the future. But OKC is already here, already competing at a championship level. And the scariest part? They're only getting better. They've got the youngest core in the league and the most draft capital, meaning they can improve without sacrificing a thing. But this isn't just about potential, it's about execution. The Thunder aren't winning because of a couple of stars carrying the load. This is a collective effort built on chemistry, unselfish play, and a level of discipline that's unheard of for a team this young. They don't just have talent, they have a mentality that wins titles. But here's the thing, none of it matters until they prove it in the playoffs. Yeah, the Thunder are ahead of schedule, but history isn't exactly on their side. Young teams don't just waltz into the playoffs and dominate. They get tested. They struggle. They take their lumps before they break through. Look at their track record. In 2023, they fell short in the play-in. In 2024, they had the #1 seed and still got bounced in the second round. Sure, those experiences were valuable, but are they enough? Because when the lights get brighter and the pressure ramps up, will this team rise to the occasion or fold under the weight of the moment? Will they have a guy who takes over when everything slows down and every possession feels like life or death? Regular season dominance is one thing. Navigating a brutal 7-game series against battle-tested contenders is another. Right now, we just don't know. That's the last question standing between OKC and true contention. But if they answer it, if they take that next step, the league is in serious trouble. That's it. The Western Conference is a battlefield. Seeds 2 through 8 are crammed together, with every game carrying massive playoff implications. Teams like the Nuggets, Lakers, and Warriors have experience, but none of them have truly separated from the pack, except for Oklahoma City. The Thunder aren't just surviving the chaos of the West, they're dominating it. They've built a championship-level defense while maintaining a top-3 offense, and they've already stacked statement wins against the league's biggest contenders. Add in their chemistry, depth, and the potential for home court advantage throughout the playoffs, and OKC is playing like a team ready to make a finals run. Last year, they fell just short in the second round. This year, the Western Conference Finals isn't just a possibility, it's the expectation. So whether or not this is their year, one thing is certain, OKC has arrived and they aren't going anywhere soon. Best record in the NBA, top 3 in both offense and defense, A roster that's young, deep, and fearless. No ego, no drama, no signs of slowing down. They've already locked up the top seed in the West and are on track to finish with the best record in the league. They have the talent, the chemistry, and the resources to keep getting better. The Thunder aren't just good, they're a problem. And if this is just the beginning, the rest of the NBA might be cooked. Let me know in the comments. Are the Thunder the most dangerous team in the NBA right now? Or are they one deep playoff run away from getting a reality check? Drop your thoughts below. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications for more NBA breakdowns.